Alrighty. Hello, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks, and welcome to the stream. Valk, tell us who's playing today. As we
All right.
Yes, go.
Oops, sorry. I know that Jinxie's working through a few technical issues at the moment, right as we were about to go live, because of course that's what the universe likes to play tricks, is that moment. So, we are here tonight, sports fans, with the semifinal. I had to get my words straight there. The semifinal round of the C West tournament toward the grand finals. So Tuesday night we saw Cool Cats and Kittens best our good friends of Artemis. And so the number 1 seed Cool Cats and Kittens is moving on to the Coastal Finals. And the winner tonight between Can't Connect Stuns and Roll1 Esports are going to make it to that Coastal Final. They are trying to earn their position tonight. These are our number 2 seed in Can't Connect Stuns and number 3 seed in Roll1 Esports vying for that spot. So we know that tonight is going to be a fantastic battle, and we are excited to be here and see really just what wonderful Heroes of the Storm we have in store. Jinxie, let me know. I can see on stream as you're moving stuff around slightly, but let me know when you're ready.
I am all set to go. In fact, why don't we head on over to the map screen? Sorry about that, guys. We always say it's not a Jinxie stream unless something goes terribly wrong. So take a look at these fine maps here. We have the members of Can't Connect Stuns banning away Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom. We have Roll1 Esports banning away Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. Our first map of the evening is going to be Dragonshire, as picked by Roll1, the members of CCS opting for that first pick. And without further ado, let's head on into that draft.
All right. So Can't Connect Stuns has heavily favored first pick this season, as well as in the matchup between Can't Connect Stuns and Roll1 Esports. Dragonshire has been played in each of the last 2 outings between these 2 teams, which was the semifinal match last season in C West, and the regular season match between them during season 11 also. So Roll1 has taken the victory in all 3 of the previous meetings of these teams. Of course, I know from my association with the CCS group of teams that CCS2 is hungry. They are ready to take on this powerhouse that is Roll1 Esports, who went on to upset the entire tournament last season and won all of C West. So
yeah.
Both teams very strong.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot from them. I believe CCS and Roll1 ended up being the team that myself and Linehouse casted just a while back. So we've seen some ups, we've seen some downs, and you basically said all there is to it. It's a long-standing rivalry between a bunch of really good friends. I'm excited to see what they pick, where they're gonna go, all that good stuff. Looks like Stitches and Lucio going to be our bans for this first round here, followed up by Kael'thas.
So lately, Roll1 Esports has had quite a few Stitches bans come against them. They've gone an extremely strong run in the season 12 with Stitches, and so that is absolutely one directed at Rock. We have the return ban of Lucio, which is directed at Slickrub of CCS2, being his primary healer. He does absolutely fantastic and maddening plays with that Lucio. We go back, we see the Kael'thas ban. That one, I believe, is targeted at Poe of Roll1 Esports. And then finally, our 4th ban, Junkrat, would be targeted at Eric. Diablo, so if you haven't heard, Brainer will tell you, just ask, but Brainer has one-trick Diablo to finally hit a major checkoff on his HOTS bucket list, and that is he has made it to Master this season by one-tricking Diablo there, so absolutely a force on Diablo.
Absolutely. We're going to see it come through here, but there's going to be that age-old Diablo counter coming out as Poe is going to grab that Tychus. We're also going to see Brightwing, who a lot of folks are, you know, for good reason, calling the best support in the game right now.
And Brightwing has definitely fallen with the most recent patch, but she still brings the absolute turn off the enemy diver button with polymorph. So if Diablo's going to come in, he doesn't get to leave very quickly.
Absolutely. Yes, the nobody can have fun button, a classic. We're going to see Gul'dan and Malfurion here. Malfurion, a great combo with Diablo, similar to the Tyrande of old, just in the fact that they can follow up with the root, but it's much more effective than that Lunar Flare, of course. We're also going to see Gul'dan come through. Great wave clear. Also a lot of really strong damage onto that CC countdown. So is it going to be enough? We're going to see Sylvanas taken out by the side of Roll1.
I am surprised to see the priority with the Gul'dan over the Sylvanas. I know Ghost Dunk plays a lot of heroes, but Sylvanas has kind of been his I can do everything with this hero. And so it's been something that he has played a lot as of late.
Makes sense. Yeah, definitely. We're going to see ETC to round it out. We did get some ETC buffs in our last patch. I think it's been 100 years since we've gotten a patch, and hopefully at the end of this week, just before playoffs, the way God intended, as we always seem to do, we're actually going to see Thrall come out here for Zad, and then Rock Your World grabbing that Anubarak.
So Anubarak is one of the kings in the tanking world right now, by many folks seen as the very best tank in the game. He offers so much crowd control. He gives you unlimited siege with his beetles, it feels like. Thrall was one that Zad used to great success last time these two teams met on this map, being able to just absolutely doomhammer Sonya into the ground.
We'll have to see how he does against Malthael, as the main ski is going to pick that up to round out the draft here. And then another Ghost Dunk classic. I feel like this is another hero that we see him play often, coming out with the Cassia.
I really like the Cassia as an answer to the Tychus. Tychus is naturally short range, makes it so those blinds are more likely to hit, and minigun does nothing at that point. So I really like that answer. I know that the main ski has long mained our good friend of Malthael, and so I think that will be a very strong pickup there. And his wave clear is, of course, going to outpace Thrall's.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how it is. Now, one of the things about Dragonshire is you don't necessarily have to have your offlane soak, or do the double soak. You want them to soak, but, you know, getting those two lanes in isn't necessarily their job. So that is one thing that Thrall really excels at. However, Malthael can also come and help out with those camps. So I'm really going to look to see CCS try to look for these quick lane rotations with their comp is more geared toward, and then maybe trying to take some unfair fights, you know, 3v2s, 4v5s, all sorts of good stuff there. Meanwhile, the side of Roll1, they're looking really strong in that team fight. So I'm expecting a dynamic game, Valka.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons they went for the Malthael today is that idea of he can clear the wave and go do something else without Thrall punching him in the face, which sounds crazy to focus so much on that, but last time it absolutely was a deciding factor on this map where Thrall just took it to Sonya.
Absolutely. We'll have to see as we head on in to game number 1 in our best of 3 series. Over on the blue side, we've got the main ski on that Malthael. Brainer will be your Diablo. We've got Eric on that Gul'dan. Ghost Dunk is your Cassia, and Slick Rub will be that Malfurion.
5, 4, 3.
And over for our red side of Roll1 Esports, we have Rock Your World, or Rock Your W, as the Anubarak, Poe is the Tychus, Velvet is the Brightwing, Zad is the Thrall that we mentioned, and Big Beard bringing in the Lunara.
I realize halfway through I probably should have given you the CCS guys, but you know, there's no biases here at all. So we head on
I am
in.
good friends with both.
Yeah, exactly. They're both lovely folks. Taking a look here, first thing I notice is that Ghost Dunk has opted for those charge strikes, not going for the stack, so looking to probably take some quicker team fights as we get through here.
All right, now the wave clear felt a little bit even there, but even so, Roll1 took the aggressive path and CCS decided to keep it safe there.
Just trying to play it safely and not really get too much into this yet, and I think that's fair. One of the things that I really respect about Brainer's Diablo is that he doesn't just unga bunga charge in anymore. Because
he's definitely had that in the past. But
if you're a baby Diablo, you hurt a lot less, so it's much easier to kill you. So not going to charge in, going to stack up those souls first. We're going to see the Bruiser Camp actually taken first here from CCS. Meanwhile, the members of Roll1 have opted to go for that Siege Giant camp while also looking to grab these waves of Soak.
Thrall is going to struggle against this camp. He's going to need help, which opens up an opportunity in the bottom lane for can't connect stuns. I almost called him my own team's name, but...
Oh, Mainsky getting out of there. That camp will be dealt with as the whole U.S. Army shows up to clear that. We've actually got Thrall down in the bottom lane versus Eric here. Malfurion gonna drop the root, not going to connect, but Ghost Hunt gonna get a big chunk of damage, and Brightwing will get her heal off. It's an extra 35% of the max health. Maybe made Dad reconsider as they have to tap that well there, and lost a big chunk.
So the Thrall walked into the root just barely, but the teleport down from Brightwing, obviously the difference of Thrall surviving there. I like the importance given to the camps here and just that focus by the teams. We see Roll1 up here on the top right camp while CCS is down on the bottom bruisers.
Members of CCS going to continue to take these camps up much faster than the members of Roll1. For Gold Dam, we've got Pursuit of Flame, so going for that Q quest. It's been the more popular one in the last couple of recent patches. Already sitting on 12 stacks of that. No stacking talents at 1 or 4 for any of the members of Roll1 here, so we'll have to see how that changes in the late game. 34 souls on Diablo. Almost lost skirmish there.
The pressure created from that bottom camp has already taken the fort wall for CCS and removed some of that safety for Roll1 Esports. Malthael, we have seen some double soaking. He's of course got to clear that camp that was now sent his way top, and Thrall's winning that top lane with that camp at this point.
I've already taken 1 tower. Fighting in that spell damage is going to make it a lot easier for his that spell armor, excuse me, which reduces the spell damage, so he is going to have to clean that up. We'd like to give a shout out to our coolest and most attractive players. They are off lanes who sacrifice that screen time so we can get the delicious XP. But down in the bottom, Rock Your World going to get harassed a little bit by Brainer there. They did drop the root. Wasn't exactly where Brainer intended to put him, so just going to be able to get away. And even so, it's really hard to lock down this Anuba rack. He does have that unstoppable burrow charge to get out. And right now, it's everybody's favorite part of the early game, the soak game.
Brightwing picking up that mid lane, can teleport. I assume it's off cooldown at this point.
Another team fight coming out here. I really like how they're using the roots to zone folks away. This has a constant containment here. We're going to see a little bit of damage come out onto Rock Your World, but there it is, the burrow charge. Brightwing Telly will come down. They actually ended up walking down, which I really like. One of the things is sometimes, you know, you get those Brightwings, especially in Storm League, and they're like, I only move by teleport. There is no other option. So you love to see when they'll walk down, waiting to save it for another time. We're going to see continuous pressure, though, down in the bottom lane. And this is shaping up well for CCS.
Yeah, I feel like they could have forced that well and gotten away without much punishment. I don't mind what they've done, but obviously your opponents, excuse me, not being able to tap is a big victory that I feel like they let go a little bit there.
Potentially see this first dragon come through. Nope, was stalled out thanks to Thrall. I have to agree, though, just on the point of that well. They did finally get it in the end, but now we have Roll1 grabbing this bottom point. They have top taken care of as well. However, with Gul'dan and Diablo in the mid lane, they're actually getting quite a bit of mid lane damage here. It's going to be harder for the members. Velvet is going to try and rotate down, actually ends up getting a kill onto Malfurion here. That is going to be the first blood of the game. We'll see now with
I'm curious as to whether or not Roll1 can turn this into a Dragon Knight, or if they're just going to get the soak bottom while there's that much less defense.
Brainer's hanging out here. He's actually in the bush.
He is, because the little blue eye is barely showing. Barely.
I don't think Poe knows that he's there. He checked the bush. He doesn't. I don't know if he saw him or not. Oh, T2ers once again. This time Thrall is going to go down. Level 10s have been achieved. Mainsky did drop that last right. So you can see Earthquake came out there as well. Another fight going through here. Thornwood Vine, an unusual pickup for Lunare, will be the choice for Big Beard this time around. Other than that, we're looking pretty standard. Save Lightning Breath for Diablo, and then Tranquility coming out from Malfurion.
Brainer absolutely loves Lightning Breath in a Flames or Fire Stomp Diablo. He takes it every time.
I feel like Lightning Breath is really undervalued right now. It's not always the pick. I mean, it's scarcely the pick, I would say, but when you get to pick it, it feels so good, especially the level 20 upgrade, where you get 12 seconds to just yell at the enemy.
Oh, gank attempt top. Poe takes out Malthael.
If the team's going to let me know when they're about to kill, I would appreciate that. That's not all 3 kills. I've missed them.
I mean, there's a ping system, right? We can see the pings. Just ping for us.
Right?
The opponent doesn't see the ping that you're putting out there. Come on. So Roll1 capping all of them. Ooh.
Tried to get the interrupt off. Great polymorph.
Well, and we saw a unique interaction there. Tychus had started the spray and pray, or overkill, and was still channeling, and the animation was still going off. I didn't see if it was doing damage or not. I'm curious on that, but the channel of the spray and pray and the channel of the Dragon Knight were not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's a thing or not. If not, that's interesting. We're going to see the follow-up on to Zadar. They are going to drop the Earthquake. Out comes Lightning Breath to finish off the Dragon. Poe is going to be popped out there. Diablo looking rough. Lots of damage coming out. Malfurion just barely getting the Tranquility off, but will go down into all that. Brainer miraculously surviving for now. Mainsky looking for Zad. May have overstayed their welcome. Out comes the right wing teleport to get them back to safety. We actually didn't have Gul'dan with us in that team fight, and now a really spicy play coming out as we are going to see Eric start that camp, and unfortunately for the side of Can't Connect Stuns, they will end up giving it over for free there.
We saw a lot of very impactful ults there. We saw the cocoon on the Malfurion to start the fight. We even saw how big a Nubarak is with that big beetle body. It is 3 stories tall if you were to have it in real life, folks. Very terrifying, but he kept Diablo in that corner to where we almost saw Diablo go down because of that. And we saw all sorts of abilities used. We saw the phase shift. We saw everything but Horrify because Gul'dan wasn't there. Tough matchup, both sides.
Well, nothing they can do now. Everybody is back, so it's going to go ahead once again. Back to that laning phase, 13-14, a relatively low kill game for the teams. 1-3 in favor of the side of Roll1. Brainer potentially in a little bit of trouble here. Actually, now it turns out into Rock here, getting stunned out, not going to connect with that root though.
Bro charge to get out. He's safe, but always a little scary to be in those corridors when root can cover the whole area and Diablo can smash you into walls and even put you in a root if he so desires.
Always a tough one. We're going to see Brainer come to check in. There's the stun, the follow-up stun, the Horrify actually not going to connect. Shadow Charge to get out. Cocoon onto Malfurion. Everyone going to try and break him out there. Lightning Breath coming through, immediately interrupted Out comes Commandeer Odin. Malfurion also dropping the Tranquility. Nubarak burrowing in. This could be exactly what the members of CCS are looking for, but there's going to be that Brightwing phase shift. Now, with everybody pressing their R, nobody going to die. The members of Roll1 backing up to this shrine. Brainer at 50% health goes in looking for the Tychus. Not going to find him just yet. Slickrub actually quite far forward. We're going to find the sleep coming out. Nubarak will be taken out in the top there. Last rites to finish the job. And this one's coming up. CCS.
The power of On a Pale Horse, Malthael's 1 coming into play there, able to just zoom down with that almost global-like ability to come in, add to the team fight, throw out a last rites, pick up his second stack, so he's now down to a 60-second cooldown and could still go all the way down to a 20-second cooldown on that ability.
Absolutely. Really getting lots of value there. We do have the Dragon Knight in favor of the red team for the time being. You can see Slickrub and Eric hovering around. They actually are seen by the Wisps. They're going to send the Wisp away just so they can get a little bit of extra vision there. Diablo looking, manages to sneak past Brightwing. No polymorphs coming out just yet. Looking like a fight in the middle. They're going to jump onto Rock Your World. Unstop coming out. There's going to be the phase shift from Brightwing. And overall,
we saw a little bit of a disconnect there between Brainer and Slickrub. We saw Malfurion's green carpet hit the ground, but the flip was actually pulling Nubarak away from that route, which may have been the difference, because of course then Nubarak just got out and with his bro charge, big cocoon.
I see lots coming out here over on the side right in front of this gate. Nubarak going to be the first one to come out for Tranquility. Next drop there. The members of Roll1 going to back away. Lunara sneaking her way down at the bottom. CCS really taking control of these team fights. They have insane engage, but it looks like their counter engage also not bad. We're going to see Brainer chasing down Velvet, but they are going to manage to get away. The altars are being cleared by the side of CCS, and we'll see if they can't pick up their first Dragon Knight of the game.
Well, and they just pulled off that camp invade bottom right. Big Beard had been soloing that camp as Lunara, and he just couldn't take on 3 CCS members coming in there as well, so...
It's been an interesting camp takes all around. You know, you've just lost a team fight. Nobody's got any cooldowns. Nobody's got any health. Perfect time to steal a camp, right? Right.
Of course. We see everyone settling in, trying to stay off vision as much as possible, figuring out the next engage. Blue team goes top to turn it blue. Red team goes bottom.
Lots of damage. That is 1 dead cooldown. Out comes the Lightning Breath. Lots of damage. Malfurion able to sneak away as most of the members of Roll1 are rendered to half health or less. Right, we're going to try and keep them all healed up. They don't have that cooldown nor that Horrify to separate if it gets too ugly. But Ghost Dunk doing a great job of keeping those auto attackers from doing too much damage. Once again, is a CCS Dragon. We'll see if they can't turn it around here.
Malthael was sharking for a bit there, and I wish he had stayed just a moment longer in the shadows, because we knew Lunara was going to go clear that camp. I mean, we can see everything. Maybe they didn't know, but he ran up to get a wave top and come back. But I wonder if he had stayed, if they could have taken that 4v4 and last righted somebody down.
Potentially. We are going to see Big Beard coming back up. Malthael is in position. It doesn't look like the members of Roll1 are aware of where they are, but of course is going to head back up to that top lane. It's all about these lane transitions, this soak right now for the teams. We've got a uncontested Dragon Knight right now, so of course camps soak. The big thing here, I think, is Roll1 want to wait for level 20 to find that next team fight.
So Jinxie, as a fellow tank player, how are you feeling about Epicenter versus Beetlejuiced?
I've always preferred Epicenter just because that is your biggest form of engage, but also your biggest disengage. And when you combine that with the rewind at level 20, which is what I always go, I feel like it's just better. The only other one I would consider is maybe debilitation, but I've never been a big Beetlejuice person myself.
So the buffs, which I say recent, they're within the last year or so, to Beetlejuice has finally got it off of having to melee heroes. Oh, this invade top left.
Ooh, yeah, nothing Mainspeed can do. Just gonna let that one go, which is the right call, unless Brainer. Tag me when Brainer fades. Not gonna fade this time.
So they did trade fort for fort, but are they going to trade keep wall for that fort also? And Can't Connect Stuns is ripping through this wall and is now looking like they may be going onto the bottom keep.
And be careful, the rest of the team has Hearth back. This is one of the hard things about Thrall into Malthael, is Malthael can catch that wave pretty easy, can grab that. We're gonna see Fear come out. Lunara taking so much damage, not gonna be saved by Brightwing. Rocky World also very low, he's gonna try and get over the wall, but there is Ghost Dunk. They did use Ball Lightning in that last fight. Can Ghost Dunk, ooh, the shield, just enough to save them from the clutches of Cassia.
So I don't like this camp take right here by CCS2. I would like them to have killed Lunara and just run at the bottom keep. Maybe take the camp on the way out, but just get in there, let Diablo tank that keep a little bit and get some chip damage. Now we'll see how it all works out, but ooh, noof team fight.
Ooh, we're going to see the ball come out once again. Diablo goes down. He does have the souls. This does allow Malthael to grab the Dragon Knight. For right now, it is just all about the members of CCS staying alive. They can finish the keep with the Dragon, most likely, except they're actually taking it for the mid fort, maybe hoping to open up the map a little bit more here. But with that Tychus, they're going to lose a big chunk of that Dragon health.
I really like taking that mid fort because the bottom keep is down to about 2,500 health. I feel like it's going to be attainable, and it's just further gaining a little bit more control of that middle lane where the Dragon Knights will spawn the next time.
See the Cocoon once again come out onto Malfurion. Slickrub not allowed to play the game. Lightning Breath for the disengage. Looking for a new Barak and Brightwing. Brightwing, though, will blink to safety with her heroic ability. We do have the upgraded level 20 for Diablo. So there it is. That 12 seconds of Lightning Breath, which is absolutely insane coming out there. Looks like not going to be able to grab the keep this time around. They did get the fort, so again, we do have this map opened up for the members of CCS. They're going to grab this camp, and we'll see what plays they can make there.
Ooh, I'm really glad he checked that, but Slick got a little too close.
He's gonna have to pop the Tranquility. A huge team fight coming out here. This is why you don't fight Gul'dan in a corridor. Lunara going down, a new Barak going down, Brightwing also dead. The members of Roll1 having to head back to base. And with this, I wouldn't be surprised if members of CCS take the game right here, right now. That keep is down. Odin is
Thrall needs
finished.
to get healthy.
Oof. They're gonna drop the Earthquake to buy time. They have the extra help thanks to those Earthen Shields. Is it gonna be enough? Ghost Dunk got hit by the core, so that's gonna slow him down a bit. Brainer is low. He has to remember he's got no health. Yep, there goes Brainer.
And he has no soul reset either. The core is starting to drop here.
And they get it, 65% and counting. Last rites won't get Tychus. They managed to hop on that mount, head back in. Eric keeping on live. Slickrub doing the Lord's work, staying everybody healthy. And that is going to be game number 1, going over to the side of Can't Connect Stuns. GG.
Yeah, that fear in the corridor was huge. It feared everybody into the Malfurion sleepy roots. And so CCS2 just had free, what, 5 seconds between all of that?
Absolutely not. So yeah, they had, I think it's 1 second of fear time, 1.5. I'm not 100% sure on that. In fact, I can actually look.
It's 2 seconds
okay,
plus
2
1
seconds.
with the haunt. Everyone's taking 20% more damage from all sources. And then with the root from Malfurion, there is the guaranteed ½ second stun at the beginning of a sleep. So even if everyone's taking damage through the root, that sleep instantly gives you that ½ second of essentially a stun. It's still a sleep. Crush and I went the rounds on that this week, but because it's uninterruptible during that time, Cassie is pumping out damage. Gul'dan is pumping out damage with his super low cooldowns. And that game flipped in a hurry. Not that CCS was not in control, but boy, howdy, did it end in a snap of a finger with that team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very well done. So that is going to be game number 1, going over to the side of Can't Connect Stuns. Let me go ahead and update that. Then we'll take a look at these matches as we get ready for game number 2. So update all that, head over to the score screen. Still a very great play by Roll1. I can definitely see why these teams have just been neck and neck throughout the last couple of seasons. Both of them constantly making it to these finals and semifinal spots here. So if you're just now joining us, then welcome, welcome. Over here on the map screen, you can see Can't Connect Stuns taking game number 1. They went ahead and banned Cursed Hollow and Towers of Doom. Roll1 got rid of Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. Our first game of the evening was picked by Roll1, which of course went over to CCS, and we're just waiting for game number 2 now.
Yep, I imagine we'll have word from the teams here in a moment. I myself am going to whisper Rock and see if their team is picking first pick or map pick so that we can know that. So Roll1 Esports has first pick and they are waiting for the map. Map will be Infernal Shrines, chosen by Can't Connect Stuns.
Alrighty, so we'll take a look at that there. You'll have to forgive me. Everybody is pinging me right now. My team just played our most recent series, so checking in on that, seeing all that good stuff. But yeah, so Infernal Shrines picked by CCS, you said, correct?
Correct.
Alrighty, good stuff.
A very close game as far as kills. Before that final fight, Roll1 had the advantage on kills by 2. With that last attempt, or no, by 1, because Brainer, I think, died on the core. And so
back over so we can take a look.
Super close on that. And so both teams doing a good job of minimizing the deaths. Obviously, staying alive, being on the map is a very important thing, as one can imagine. So
absolutely. Oh, where'd our Valkamer go? There we go.
I'm here.
Like I said, it's not a Jinxie stream unless everything breaks. But it looks like we are all good now. So Infernal Shrines coming through. And judging by the chat, it looks like this isn't one that we get to see too often.
You know, it has been pretty rare in this series. I realize it is an NGS favorite, but these two teams have only played on this map once in their history.
Oh, wow.
So I get it. We see it all the time in NGS. Very popular map, considered a very balanced map. The other very balanced choice was taken away from us with Towers of Doom. So for my part, I'm still hoping that Haunted Mines will reach the map pool for next season, but I don't know that NGS is considering it.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, you're about to play if they hit ready.
You don't want me on your team. I'm no good. I got kicked off my own team, and I'm the captain. I didn't actually get kicked off. They just hate playing with me. That's not true either. Yeah, so, I mean, the casters are ready. If they want me on their team, you know, that makes it done and easy. That would take us to
I think you'd do a wonderful job on Roll1 Esports.
Oh,
I think you'd do great.
Give me too much credit. Could you imagine that, me playing the game, but also, like, casting with you? That would be nuts. Alrighty. Yeah, just on your point, going back to it about Infernal Shrines, I've always been one of those people because, like you said, it is an NGS favorite. It's picked quite often, and for the longest time, I hated the map. But I think that's because, I think that's because we lost so much on it. So whenever we go to Infernal Shrines, or like we would end up in the playoffs, and a team would be like, okay, our first map is Infernal Shrines, and I'd be like, you jerks, like, I know you want to win, but you ain't got to do us like that.
They're just trying to play the mind game as well, right? They're trying to stay ahead. If you can be up and only have to win one game in a series now, if you get thumped in game 2, well, at least there's game 3.
I think the worst thing ever was when we were playing a game. We absolutely bopped them game number 1, and we had done all of our research, right? We were like, out of 22 games played this season, they've picked map pick 12 times, and they have never picked a map pick after a loss. And so I'm sitting there and I'm chatting to the team, and I was like, all right, what do you guys want? Even though, I'm like expecting first pick, and they're like, we'll go Infernal Shrines. And I was like, almost, I wanted to be like, damn, like, that's super insulting. Like, we never pick maps, but we know we can beat you guys on Infernal Shrines. And I was like, and then we got absolutely clapped. So, fair enough.
It happens. No, I know that for us in my past with CCS1, we've definitely played plenty of maps and plenty of Infernal Shrines, and it was one that we considered a very strong map for us in seasons long since past. So, and here comes our draft once again.
All right, we'll see what they want to pick up. Now, the interesting thing about Infernal Shrines is I feel like it's almost similar to Dragonshire in a way, just based on the macro, the lane soaking. Obviously, the objectives are pretty different, but you could probably get away with either of the comps that the teams played in game number 1 and still do quite fine.
Oh, absolutely. I think that Diablo, with the tight corridors around the shrines, obviously can have a bit of a heyday. A Nubarak, while the beetles may not hit the targets that you want, they can still interrupt some damage for you. And that's just the tanks. Malthael, of course, is extremely good at the shrine clear here. We see our bans following last game so far, so still on those target bans, nothing updated. Ooh, our first switcheroo. So the fear, which was Horrify upgraded into Haunt, definitely played a major part in game 1. So with the corridors once again set up, Roll1 Esports says hard pass. We'll see what comes in next. It does open up for Eric to take Junkrat possibly.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Ooh,
all right, so
Cat
Connect Stuns banning their Junkrat. So I do know that Roll1 Esports has also been playing Junkrat. Personally, I would say that the sooner they nerf Big Az, the better. But I don't know what they would change it to.
I don't know. Just get him out the game, honestly, especially when you're tanking and just so unfun to play with. I've got like a big list of like heroes I hate. Junkrat's very high up there. Like Zul'jin, I hate him. He does too much damage to me as a tank. Get him out of here. Junkrat does too much damage to me as a tank. Get him out of here. Every hero with percentage damage. I hate him. Get him out of here. We're going to actually see KT let through, though, from the recent draft, as we did see the Junkrat ban. And this time, Ghost Dunk going to grab that early Sylvanas.
So for my quick list, I do share with people that every time Phoenix dies, an angel gets its wings.
Ooh, don't let Ryokai say, hear you say that.
That's fine, Ryokai. It's a dumb hero. It's bad hero design. And if they removed it from the game, the best part of a couple NGS seasons ago was when Phoenix was bugged and just got this move speed for free, and so people weren't allowed to pick Phoenix for like 3 weeks. Fantastic. So you do see the Malthael now going over to Roll1, Anubarak staying with Roll1, Diablo, and then the Sylvanas we had mentioned before with more priority.
Ooh, we're gonna see Uther banned out now. See what the response is here. D.Va gonna be the next one to get sent out here, or not get sent out, depending how you look at it. Gonna go ahead and get banned away. Now the biggest thing is, what do you draft really to deal with Malthael in the offlane? And it's one of those heroes where, you know, you always say, well, let's take a different offlane to counter their offlane. That's why you pick it last, right? But Malthael doesn't necessarily have those same cut and dry matchups as a lot of offlaners.
What I would like to point out is that when talking about Malthael and offlane, you said let's pick it last, right? So unintentional pun, but I chuckled in the back of my head, and I just want to point that out so that chat can also see how clever you were being in that moment.
Yep.
Now, I like the answer of Blaze into the Malthael, because if there's a last rites, Bunker can stop that for anybody on your team.
Yeah, that is a really strong point. You know, I feel silly now being like, there's not a cut and dry response to it, and then Blaze comes out, because Blaze has been able to soak really effectively in the double soak rotation. And then, of course, like you said, the counter to the last rites. The only other one I was thinking of was Urel, but the nice thing about Blaze is the Bunker is on, I think it's what, 50, 60 second cooldown, whereas, you know, Urel's Ardent Defender is 120 second cooldown, and you can save everybody.
Yep, anybody can jump in. It gives a save for the whole team, whether it's a Pyroblast or a Last Rites. I suppose even Lunara's poison would get cleansed by going in the Bunker and popping back out.
Yeah, it removes the dot effects.
All right, the Lunara, once again, priority. Rhaegar, I am a huge fan of, so it should not be a surprise to anybody that has scouted me and my brother that my brother plays a fantastic Rhaegar. And so I personally think that Rhaegar is just passed over far too much in this meta, and people just don't realize the power that he has. Yes, his healing numbers are a little bit different than what people are looking for. His output's different, but his ability to add to the wave clear, to add to the shrine clear, just fantastic.
Yeah, you know, Rhaegar's not bad. If you were just to buff his healing numbers and his cooldowns and his mobility and his kit and his heroic, then he's not a bad choice, you know?
He's got great mobility. He can get 20% all the time, and he bites butts.
That's fair, you know, actually,
to kill
I'm the
people.
Fool.
So,
right.
I mean, I'll take all the buffs you want to give, but I suppose I should zip it for a second so you can introduce our team.
Sure, alrighty. I'll take the Roll1 folks this time round. We're going to see Rock Your World on that Anubarak. Big Beard will be your Lunara. Poe on that Kale Foss. We've got Velvet on the Rhaegar, and Zad will be your Malthael.
Brainer, as you can see, B stepping away on the Diablo, Ghost Dunk with the Sylvanas, Eric on the Greymane, Mainski with the Blaze, and finally Slickrup keeping everybody alive with the Stukov.
See, soaking right through here. Lots of damage coming out onto Brainer, already popping that level 1, opting for the Soul Shield this time round. And we are going to see that Rhaegar wave clear. We're going to see that DQ as well. Poe playing the Ice Cream Kael'thas going out here.
Little bit of a rotation lead by Roll1. I'd like to see Rock delay a little bit if he can here. But I think he just gave that ground back to Diablo. Quite the stun chain, though.
Oh, Diablo is baby. We're going to see lots of damage coming out here. Spreading bombs is something you cannot avoid. Brainer going to have to go all the way back to base, nearly being taken down by Big Beard. going for that Sentinel Wisp once again. And now, it's everybody's favorite time. It's camp time.
It's camp time. So we see Roll1 getting to their camp first, but the collected efforts of CCS capturing theirs just slightly ahead.
Turns out Greymane is still a pretty good hero. We're going to see a little bit of damage coming out onto Stukov, a little bit onto Brainer. It's that classic bottom camp fight. The members of Roll1 looking to capture it first, and CCS willing to give it over for the time being. Rock in that bush. Diablo potentially looking to come in, chooses not to. And so it looks like they're just going to let that go, clear it out later.
Oh, is Zad in trouble here in the mid? Nah, he gets away safe. Experience extremely even between these two teams. We again see the pale horse coming out of Malthael, but the siege put down on this bottom lane by Roll1, already netting them a cannon tower and a half.
Well, there's been interesting interaction there. We're going to see Eric in quite a bit of trouble, but luckily they are in that Worgen form, so we'll be able to roll away if needed. We're actually going to see him head through there. Lunara going to be the first blood going down this time. Looking for Velvet. A nice stun onto Brainer, though, will shut down that engage. But how many times, just going back to that for a second, have you been Diablo, been on the other side of your gate, shadow charge, and then found yourself in the exact same position you've just left?
Very few times, I'm sure. The one very difficult to see interaction there that we saw was the use of reactive ballista spheres by Stukov to slow the members of Roll1 Esports, allowing that engage to continue big time.
One of the reasons that Stukov is the most picked, most banned support in the game right now. Having that ability to activate it whenever you see fit allows you to use it aggressively as well as defensively. First Shrine is coming through here. It is going to be an Arcane Punisher. 11 to 8, very even on the Shrine so far. Lots of abilities coming out. You see the members shoved back to their own respective sides of the map. Dad is coming through here. Brainer looking for the stun. The Maity, the first to step in, will get followed up on by that KT combo. Lots of damage out onto Zad. Huge damage from that KT. Out comes the Malthael kill, though. Eric will end up going down to a great living bomb spread. Rocket World gets away with just a smidgen of health, but nobody's got any mana for the time being on either side here now. Mainsky is low. They don't have that level 10 just yet. And is he gonna get away? Ooh, Lunara Poison will take them out. 31 to 35. Still anybody's game here. The silence not going to connect, but Velvet is very low in the back. The slow totem allows him to get out with just 28 health. And with that, get this first Punisher over to the side of Roll1.
I would love to ask this question, so remind me later if we're in comms with Roll1, but Lunara was completely off to the right side of the shrine when Blaze was getting chased down by Rhaegar. So I'm curious if Velvet yelled out to Big Beard saying, hey, you need to push that button that reapplies the poison thing on Lunara, and boom, that's what got the kill. I was expecting a Rhaegar finish with the wolf form lunge, and instead the Lunara finished him off.
Yeah, I saw him get away with, oh, gosh, 16 health or something. I was like, oh, you know, little victories, we take these. But that extra little bit of crippling spores sealed the deal. And as such, they're going to grab the first fort of the game.
Well, and having that early siege that they had put into that cannon tower, again, they had taken a cannon tower and a half, which means that Punisher did not take the damage from those two cannon towers, of course. And with that, they were able to just shove through and force that fort, down, which now gives them that early experience lead, that early map control. And the next shrine, we can already see it on the minimap, is going to be in the far distant top lane, and they already have a fort down bottom.
They could just allow somebody to hang out and push. I wouldn't say Malthael, because I think Malthael probably has the worst siege in the game. And yes, I'm including heroes like Nova and Lily. So, ooh, finally gonna get that out, but feels a new Barak, man. Rock Your World gonna be able to get to safety with the burrow charge. Front wall is going to go down again. Very strong push from the side of Roll1 Esports.
And we see Roll1 hitting 10s first, Cocoon online, Thornwood Vine just locked in, Last Rites, Ancestral, still waiting. I personally am still hoping for a Pyroblast, but I think it may switch to Phoenix when we see Blaze's level 10, which now has come online in his bunker.
I'm expecting Phoenix as well. We've got Go for the Throat coming out from Greymane. Big 5-man stone from the main ski. If only the rest of the team was there. Oh, man.
Well, and they're getting loads of siege already on this fort. They're trading for bottom fort, which leaving a Greymane and a Sylvanas to siege is quite scary, but the next shrine is top. And now you don't have a well, you don't have a fort, you don't have cannon towers to help you protect. So it's a tough choice to make.
Understand.
But at least you traded structures, but did you really gain with that trade? Is the question that we'll find out the answer to here soon, because 30 seconds has called on this shrine.
Luckily for the side of CCS, this is going to be a Mortar Punisher. Not necessarily the strongest, you know, still in the top 3, but no Frozen Punisher. So if they do end up losing it, it's not the end of the world, but I really have to agree. The members of CCS got the worst end of that deal. They are going to be scouted out in this choke here by the Wisp. Everybody is getting into position. We did see that front gate go down, so there's a minor amount of chase that CCS can have if they really get ahead. Brainer is looking for the rest of the members. Velvet in position to be charged, not going to be charged. Mainski ending up missing all of their stuns there, but able to drop that bunker to get out to safety in time. Eric on the wrong side of the bunker, just hops back in. Is not going to be enough, though, as Pyro finishes him off there. And now with Greymane dead, it looks like CCS are just going to go ahead and back it on out of here.
So during that fight, we saw APOC after I went on about Brainer taking lightning breath every time. I don't know if he got word from his captain Wolf, who is watching, but perhaps he was just trying to show me how multifaceted he is.
Now, in your defense, you said whenever he does a W build Diablo, he'll go for that lightning breath every time. We have Malevolence at level 7, so that may be the game changer here.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to eat my hat yet, but
Brainer a little bit more damage. Luckily, they have that soul shield, so really not taking too much from KT. They're going to eat the jump from John here. See how
and this wall goes down without much there from CCS to contest it. I've got to think this is a dead keep.
It's looking really rough. The Punisher's still very healthy. Brainer not as healthy. Big Beard not even trying to engage in this fight. We are going to see the mind control come out, but Cocoon will shut that down. The silence from Stukov. Eric wants that Lunara so bad, but he's not willing to risk his life for it. Blaze coming in. Mainsky not going to hit it. They have a slow from Oil. They can maybe try and chase this, but not going to happen this time round. And this is
so that entire time, Zad was in the off lanes soaking experience and leveraging that lead for Roll1 Esports. There's only 3,700 health left on that top keep. Roll1 is very far ahead to 16s and will be able to force a few engagements, including this one that we're seeing.
Ooh, I don't know if this was the one to take, though. The AoE control from the members of CCS is exactly what they need to get back into the game. Brainer will die to the last rites. Just kidding. There's the save from Stukov at the last second. 2 members going down on the side of Roll1. And just
having
like
all
that,
5 members.
Oh no! Another death down.
Having all 5 members of CCS up and Sylv to shut off a fort of your choosing, they are sieging hard into this mid lane, which is conveniently where our next Punisher will be, and there's not even going to be a keep wall at this point.
Ooh, tough break for Roll1. This does, based on our last two Punishers, this should be a Frozen Punisher, which is the worst one to fight with no wall. Raynor is going to pop that Soul Shield. We'll see if they can't get out. Taking quite a bit of damage there. The Phoenix coming out, 200 health. Mainsy going to try and buy time for their friend. They may have sacrificed their own life. In fact, that's what it's looking like. The single help ping. Bunker coming out to buy time. RIP, buddy. Meanwhile,
so during that, the bottom camp has taken the gate and one cannon tower, almost half of the next cannon tower for Roll1 Esports. The top keep goes down to the pressure, which is now not periodic catapults, but constant catapults for Roll1 in the top lane.
Everybody is back alive. 16 seconds until Blaze will be back up here. The biggest downside for Roll1, despite still coming out on top, it looks like in the end, in terms of buildings and whatnot, is they lost their level and a half lead. They fought 13v14 into a team comp with an insane amount of AoE, and as a result, ended up losing 3 members. That's not something you want to do when you're ahead. You know, if they were 16, I could understand, but all of that just gone out the window. This is 100% a fair fight now that Blaze is back.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them just play the map for a little bit, soak, wait for 16s, and then take a 16v14 or 16v15 fight instead.
You can see the fear in their eyes now, just, you know, they saw what happened on that last team camp, so they're willing to just give it over, that it's going to be pushing for the side of CCS. We do have control on the Shrine currently going over to the side of Roll1. We'll see how Can't Connect Stuns looks to change that up.
We do have this Spear Thrower camp coming through mid that may cause a distraction, but we also have the opened up top lane that could cause the distraction on the other side. It'll be interesting to see who makes a first move, who's going to be patient as we go into this.
Eric is quite low. Mainsky is low as well. They find the sun on a rockier world. Mind control coming out onto Lunara. There's the Diablo follow-up. We are going to see that Cocoon come out once again onto Diablo. Last rights onto Slickrum. He's trying to get away, tries to get the silence, but oh no, Raynor ends up pulling Malthael out of their own CC. Frozen Punisher.
So this...
over.
3 people going down for CCS2. It is the Frozen Punisher, as you mentioned, going in that mid lane. So Roll1's going to be able to at least equalize this lane, if not gain an advantage in this lane, to now match their top lane.
I wouldn't be surprised if Roll1 ended right here, right now. We'll have to see. There's still 30 seconds. This Frozen Punisher is going to make quick work. Diablo is still a baby, and it looks like Raynor is getting another free trip back to base. Going to go down for another... okay, so they did have souls, so he's back up. Just kidding. He's a baby now. Damn, so they killed that full Diablo. Oof. You hate to see it.
Well, when you got John Cena to help both with a jump
fair.
and the frozen orbs, I mean, there's a reason he did so well in the WWE before coming over to Heroes of the Storm.
And they couldn't see him. That was the problem.
Roll1 getting a little bit of damage on that bottom fort instead of pushing in with the Punisher.
Nice use of that unstop. We're going to see last rise come out on a Mainsky. Didn't have that extra bit of health from the bunker. We're going to see Nubrak, though, traded out. Greymane will go down as well. Zad left in the back. Ghost Dunk wants Velvet so much. They're not going to find him this time. We are going to see the RQE coming out. Out comes the healing from Rhaegar. And now the members of CCS, they just have to back it on up.
He doesn't int every game at every moment anymore, Silver Spy in the chat. It's not that he never ints, just a little bit more control over it.
I mean...
so this is Roll1 Esports game at this point. They need to make sure they make use of their 20s and force a fight. Now, I get it, they're waiting for a Nubarak, but once he's here, it's time to rumble.
The thing is, I mean, they definitely can take the fight with the 20. They'll have that advantage. However, also having that 3 keeps down means it's up to CCS to make the plays here. If they never want to fight ever again, then Roll1 could definitely win that way as well, just constantly letting that map pressure come through. They don't even have to win these punishers. All they have to do is keep CCS in the game. And this isn't one of those games where, you know, we win one team fight and therefore we win the game after level 16. If CCS want to take a chance at winning this one back, they're going to have to get constant 5-man wipes to stay alive here.
I don't know. So with how much they've opened up the middle lane, if it's a strong enough win, I could see them ending through mid. But Roll1 just doesn't have to give them that even fight. And they've got half a level of uneven fight.
They're going to go in looking for Brainer here. Lots of damage coming out. The mind control will come through as well. That is going to be Diablo going down. The full 60-second death timer. Eric in the back jumped in as Greymane, but is going to be the next on the chopping block. And I think we're looking at the beginning of the end here, Valka.
So many camps, 3 catapults between top and mid lane. Bottom lane's a ways away. I don't know how CCS stays in this particular round.
Well, it's going to take an act of God. Maybe if every member of Roll1 blue screens, they have a chance, but it doesn't look to be the case. The team is still quite healthy. It's only Stukov and Sylvanas left. It's only Stukov left, and that is going to be game number 2, going over to the side of Roll1 Esports.
All right, well, anybody out there who is looking for a 3-game series, we are going to have it once again. Let's bring it to game 3.
Alrighty.
Any standout performances to you in that round, Jinxie?
Oh man, you know, I talked a lot of crap about the Rhaegar, but they did a great job. Those slow totems really helped out. The Anubarak did a great job of shutting down the engage, because when you look at the comp of CCS, it's all about, you know, throw bodies at the enemy team and kill them. And Anubarak really just stopped Diablo from going in and doing much. Anytime he tried to shadow charge, he was just in that cocoon.
So one neat thing is I'm looking at the stats screen here. Roll1, with the exception of their solo laner who gets a pass because they were out doing chores for the whole team to have an experience advantage, all 4 members of the 4-man had 100% kill participation. They were there, they were using abilities together, they were looking for team fights as a team, and I think that really showed in some of those fights, whether it was that first shrine fight that they won or that final just dive in before the other team hits 20. They did a fantastic job in that game. I do love that Rhaegar is our sole survivor, which is an award you very rarely see actually awarded in the game, but the only player between both teams to avoid dying that game. So well done, Velvet. Jinxie gave you the MVP. I will certainly concur with her, and we're looking forward to a great game 3 here.
I'm glad that you said something about that, because that reminds me that I have a certain clip that has become kind of a staple of my stream if you guys have been here at all this season, because we've devolved into meme culture at this point. So we'll have to use that for game number 3. But really well done. Let's take a look at our map. So if you're just now joining us, you can see where we went, where we no longer can go, and where we hope to go for this 3-game series. Just a reminder, we did have the members of Can't Connect Stuns, Banaway, Cursed Hollow, and Towers of Doom. Roll1 Esports getting rid of those 2-lane maps in Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. We've already been to the Dragonshire and Infernal Shrines. And where do you think we're going for game number 3, Val? If you had to decide.
If CCS2 picks, it's going to be Sky Temple. It's first pick for CCS. Mainski just messaged me back. So with Roll1 choosing, if I had to guess, we're going back to Tomb for the 3rd time in the series of these 2 teams. Perhaps even the 4th time in this series. So, but I also wouldn't be amiss for my time with Roll1 Esports, which on your screen looks like Roll Esports. as I'm watching the stream. I wouldn't be surprised if they take us to Volskaya either.
All right.
Silver Spy, Lubidium, I would love to see Haunted Mines for Game 3. Alden Zero, Hanamura Temple sounds great. I think those are all fantastic choices. I'll put in my plug now. If you can convince NGS to increase the map pool to 12, all sorts of good things will happen, even if one of those good things wouldn't be Haunted Mines in that case. I did get a message from Brainer saying that he mispicked his level 7. He did not mean for Malevolence to be the choice. I think that he was thinking that he wanted actually the flip build, he said. So he was going for either Domination or for perhaps overpowering Nightmare.
Oof.
Which the resets from your CDR, Diabolical Momentum, would be your choice there rather than Malevolence. But
right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So had a little bit of extra Diablo damage, but oh man, those level 7s, that's one where you critically that's one of the critically needed talents. Everything else is kind of you know, flexible, but I feel like level 7 is a staple, so unfortunate there. And it looks like with that, we actually have our game number 3 decided here, and thank the Lord in heaven, we're not going to a Sky Temple. No dry temple for us.
well, it looks like you're on the team for Roll1 Esports again as I load into this lobby.
All right, you know.
Oh, and then we lost half.
I was going to say, you know, I'll play for Roll1 and you can wire transfer the money over later. I mean,
I will admit a few reasons that I want Can't Connect Stuns to win this. One, yes, I am part of the same Heroes of the Storm family of teams. Yes. Two, they always tease me anytime I cast, they lose. And so I'm hoping to break that trend because I have been there for the last 3 seasons and during the match that they lost in the playoffs. So I do have those. I definitely want to see a good match. I think we have 2 fantastically matched teams, and that's why we're sitting here going into a game 3. I don't think that's by accident. I think it's been strong plays by both teams.
Absolutely.
And leveraging advantages when they could.
I couldn't agree more. So we'll head on in. I'll let the teams know that the casters are ready. And on that note, you know, I feel you because we actually chased Dax out of casting our own team because for the most part, the last couple of seasons, we've had pretty amazing seasons. But the 2 times that we lost, it was Dax casting us. He'd be like, I picked up your games, guys. And we were like, oh, GG, everybody. Better not show up. The game is over.
So this is the 4th time for Tomb of the Spider Queen between these 2 maps. In our first run-in, which would have been September... Oh, no, that's not reading right. Our most recent run-in, which was September last month, was Can't Connect Stuns came away with the victory. In the previous run-ins, which was May and April of this year, Roll1 Esports won. So most recently Can't Connect Stuns, but historically Roll1 Esports. I don't know that means that any team has a clear path as we go into this final round of tonight's matchup.
It's anybody's game. Alrighty, Roll1 is ready, so we're just waiting on CCS. Poe especially is ready.
Roly Poe, as we learned today from the stream. No, I'm interested to see here. So Tomb of the Spider Queen has such an ability to go long for so many teams because it's possible to just trade back and forth those turn-ins. If one team can truly cement control over the turn-in, now they will be the team to win. But it's so easy to fall into that trap of we save up all of our gems and now we're going to get a turn in, and then you lose half of it with the turn in fight. So I'm intrigued to see what is coming forth.
Looks like we're not gonna have to wait too much longer as we will head on in for our last game of the evening. Curious if we're gonna see the same bands coming through, the Stitches once again, or if there have been some inspired new bands coming through from the teams.
I'm not as afraid of Stitches here. Yes, similar to Towers of Doom, which is Stitch's favorite playground, you have to sit and channel. But because the objective takes away the front walls so quickly, you don't have that same level of gorge value that you would see on something like a Towers of Doom. And his wave clear is decent, particularly if you go with something like a Vile Cleaver build. But I want more control out of my tank on this map than what Stitches will give us. He's got so much soft crowd control. It's just the idea of late game, one hook can change the entire team fight.
Absolutely. So, it's more. Okay, so we are going to see Stitches and KT. That's fair. The KT was putting in a lot of work. Lots of bombs were being spread in game number 2. But back in my League of Legends days, I remember when Blitzcrank was super popular, and I think it applies here with Stitches, is one of the casters said, it's not about the hooks that you dodge, it's about the hooks that you don't dodge that change the game. So you could dodge 100 hooks, but the one you get hit, that's where they can take you. So makes sense to get rid of him. Junkrat also, just because to heck with that guy.
Which means, do they pick up Diablo, which they've picked in the first round of each game so far, or do they pick up the Lucio that has been banned away from them so far?
Ooh. Do we have history of CCS playing Lucio? I can't recall them doing too much Lucio. Okay, well, we're going to go with that.
Yeah, Slickrub is absolutely a Lucio player. It is his favorite hero, which is why we've seen those target bans. Eric has received the bans today. DPS often getting noticed a bit more for the trouble they cause over supports, but Slickrub plays a mean Lucio. I'm curious as to what the answer will be. I wonder if okay, I was curious if Rock was going to steal away the Diablo. He does play Diablo. He's well known for his ETC play, which we have not seen yet today. But the Jaina and the Uther, so a very powerful blow-up combo, and also some protection with that Uther.
Curious.
Lots of crowd control.
Took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, I'm curious if they'll go the Lunara into the Uther one, because it is a constant pickup there. And then it has been a, the hero that Big Beard has played most so far this evening with 100% of the games. So we'll have to see what they're going to pull out this time round, and if this is actually going to be Velvet on the Uther, if we're going to be super spicy and rotate it somewhere else, or do a double support comp.
Well, and I'm also curious to see if Lunara is actually Eric's pick, but they're trying to say, oh no, we're not taking the Sylvanas, for example.
Could definitely be that. We're going to see the D.Va banned away next. D.Va, one of the safest off-laners. Luark being the other one, just because the lanes are so short, it's so hard to gank them. ETC ban coming once again through here, too. No one's surprised. A really powerful hero, and again, on such a small map. Surprisingly, Brightway and Stukov are both still available, and nobody even considered them here.
I mean, it's possible we see like an Uther Stukov for Roll1, but Velvet is their healer right now. Okay, that kind of answers that with having a Nubarak locked in. Uther is our sole support here. So
maybe. Unless it's the Jaina hyper carry, which I could see. No, I can't actually see that. I can't even say that with a straight face. So Poe gonna grab another DPS here for sure. I have been informed that I haven't been paying attention to the draft enough at all. Yeah, I am stupid. We're going to see Mainsky once again on the Blaze. And Eric going with the foul stat this time. So lots of auto attack damage from the side of CCS this time round.
It could still be the Beetle build hyper carry. We never know.
That's
Locust
true.
Swarm the whole bit. I'm not betting any money on that one, but...
You know.
So Poe is our final pick here for Roll1 Esports. Tychus for that big boy Diablo again.
Makes sense. Similar to the draft we saw in game number 1, you can really shut down the Diablo with the Uther stun every time he wants to go in, and then just chop up the little pieces with that Tychus.
Brainer swapping with each one of his teammates here on the left-hand side, as we see not the pictures move, but the names. And thankfully, they're all back to where they need to be. I can say that I had an HGC Open game that I participated in where my brother and I had to switch roles because of me.
Whoops!
And I have seen that play out with CCS2 in CCS intramurals, if you will, where we were practicing together, and Rainer threw off the team comp, and basically everyone just piled on the hate.
Oof. That's there's a Storm Division game actually where one of the teammates thought he was gonna switch and the other teammate thought he was gonna switch, so it ended up being like the tank player or the support, I think it was the support player, was on Hogger, because the support also played off lane from time to time, and the off lane was on support, and we were like, oh, this is interesting. I've never seen, you know, X player supporting, and then immediately it was pause. Wait, guys, we gotta remake this because we're dumb. So you know, it happens, but it looks like everyone is where they need to be. For the last time this evening, though, let's get into the teams as we have Big Beard on the Jaina. Rock Your World will be your new Barak. Red Velvet, or Velvet, on that Uther. We've got Poe on the Tychus, and Zad will be your Malthael.
In fairness, this late in, who isn't thinking about Cake at this point?
That's
but
fair.
4 can't connect stuns. We have Slick Rub on the Lucio, Brainer on the Diablo, Eric on the Falstad, the Mainsky on Blaze, and Ghost Dunk bringing up the rear with the Lunara.
No changes there. It's because it's R1E Velvet. I keep wanting to read it as Red Velvet because, you know, 2 of the letters are there.
Absolutely.
Even though they're not in the right order. But we are going to see everybody just grab that soak in the middle, not really looking for a fight. And now it's the tedious task of collecting all these spider butts.
Ooh, lots of damage on Jaina. She goes down in the top lane.
Unlucky there. First blood once again going over to the side of CCS. And this is really the power of the Lucio that we're seeing. I can definitely see why it's banned, just because you can rotate so much faster. And Lucio is one of those heroes that just, you know, it inspires bad thoughts in the way that, you know, you're trying to play the game, you're minding your own business, you're like, oh, go away, stop.
We see a few swap outs on talents. Poe this time taking the Titan grenade, or excuse me, quarterback, rather than the press your advantage from Tychus. And this is the first game where we'll see Malthael with Death's Reach rather than Pale Horse.
Ooh, makes sense, as you don't need to rotate round really if you are the off lane, and the map is so small that extra movement speed doesn't get as much value. It's much harder to gank on the map.
I'm actually surprised he didn't take Fear the Reaper, but perhaps the Wraith strike range is part of their teamfight strategy.
We'll have to see as we get on in. This is one of the maps where the offlane doesn't necessarily matter. So we're going to see Rock Your World come in just absolutely like a Chad, walking up into the team before scurrying away with that unstop there. Everybody just trying to clear out these camps. Little bit of damage.
A small change that I would have liked to have seen with Roll1 is if they had allowed the camp to get just a touch closer to the wall. By not having a Nubarak so forward, the cannons would have also been shooting at it as their camp came to defend, which would mean their camp and the supporting wave would be healthier pushing against this wall on the side, or the middle wall for Roll1 against can't connect stuns.
Right, right. We do have level 4 here from the side of CCS. Of course, they have that Nature's Culling. One thing I've noticed a little bit here is we're going to see the stun on a Mainsky, put a pin in that. They get the push back onto Jaina. There's the Diablo follow-up. Can they come through? Out comes the barrel roll from Falset, but they are going to be able to keep him alive with the Uther healing with that extra 25%. Big Beard manages to survive, but it just
that devotion armor.
Oh, Mainsky! Oh, he gets away. Going back to that point, though, we do have this front wall going down here, and this is one of the problems I've noticed in all 3 of the games, actually, with CCS, or when a camp is pushing, everybody kind of heads off to do other things. And yes, we had Lunara there, but there was so much to deal with. I would have maybe liked to have seen, you know, Diablo goes one way, Blaze or Falset goes the other, and then one state of clear, because this is the 3rd game in the row where they've left somebody with the camp pushing and they lose a whole wall for it.
Well, and with that same idea in mind, because Roll1 saw CCS in the other parts of the map, they quickly take a cannon tower in the top lane and get away scot-free.
Right. So
CCS did get a big turn in. Brainer had 24 going in himself. So they are very close to finishing that turn in. Malthael just gets 9 right before the Falstad can interrupt him.
See if they can't get this other turn in. Now, it's always interesting with this first turn in, because again, it's one of those where it's not necessarily the best, the same way that you don't hate to lose the first Punisher or the first Dragon Knight, or just because it doesn't really do much. If we can push this out to level 10, then I think whoever gets the first turn in will be sitting in a much better position. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that we can typically expect from the first set of web weavers is to get a wall down. Now, granted, since Roll1 have it, they are in a better position to get that fort, but it's going to take some serious kill power, really, with these first web weavers before 10 to get much of anything done.
I really like the power of a Nubarak on this map, with the Beetles being able to send them in on their little mission to interrupt. We can see Slick Rub up top is kind of doing the same thing with Lucio, but it's far more dangerous for Lucio to do that than for a Nubarak to send in an expendable short duration Beetle than his own skin.
Absolutely. Great call by Brainer there, popping that level 1 shield preemptively, negating a lot of that Jaina damage and able to get away. We are going to see these red web weavers heading down first, and looks like middle not going to be the point of contention there, maybe, unless, just kidding. Here comes the team. Middle is the point. Nice job, Eric. Get out of there.
We're so close on experience between both teams. When I first started to read that, we were within about 50 experience. 10s are going to come online almost identically. Roll1 putting a lot of pressure into this middle fort, seeing if they can get it with this primary objective.
We are going to see this middle fort go down, as we expected. Other lanes not going to get much. In fact, with everybody pushing there, save Malthael, Blaze didn't even need to come up. They get the middle fort, so a good turn in for the side of Roll1 Esports. However, everybody has those 10s now. There's been a big debate about what they're going to pick in the chat. We don't have to wait anymore. And it's standard all across the board to save Lunara, who's holding at the moment.
I just hope she takes Leaping Strike, because there's been a few times in the last 2 games where I would have liked to have seen a getaway that would only be made possible from Lunara's Leaping Strike. The Thornwood Vine has definitely been powerful. I'm not trying to knock that, but there is some utility that you gain with the getaways of Leaping Strike.
There have been a couple of squeak pills, too, where maybe if they have the Leaping Strike, they could have finished off the hero, but because they didn't, and since Lunara's damage is so slow, that they were able to escape with sub 100 health. We do have a red turn in here now, excuse me, a blue turn in here now for the side of CCS. They're going to come push through. They have their own camp. They are fighting into the spell power of the red camp, and we'll see what they're able to make happen. They're going to find the stun out onto Rocky World. There's the lightning breath. They get a lot of damage onto Velvet, and they will find this front wall here.
Oh yeah, there's no saving this front wall, but I think that overall the turn-in got more value. I mean, it's easy to say that, of course. Caster in the booth making simple comments that anybody can make. Considering that they only got some of each wall, they didn't even get a full wall in any lane, where Roll1 got an entire fort in the mid lane. CCS did go for that quick camp. Ooh.
Nice use of the high five.
Lucio dancing away with less than 100 health. We do see the leaping strike. We also saw the big divine shield to save there.
And Velvet just saving the day here. At the last second, though, Brainer is going to get the interrupt. We're going to see a lot more damage coming out onto Uther. He's got nothing left in the bag. That is going to be a very low slick rep. Not going to be able to get out this time round. Lucio is taken down. Velvet going to try and get the turn in once again. Eric is going to get the interrupt. Lunara also going down. 20 gems. Brainer would like the help. Nice stun. Eric can't get them. Ooh, and that's 20 gems down the drain.
So it's been another set of just brutal back and forth battles that at this point we only have 2 kills for Roll1 and 1 kill for Can't Connect Stuns. So it's been a very patient, very careful match by both teams.
We're going to see another fort go down. This is going to be Red Web Weavers coming in. And this is going to be really spicy here, Val. Odin has been popped. We have the spider coming through. This keep could be in some serious trouble. Brainer is looking for the rest of the team. Water Elemental on to Slicker up just to constantly slow them down in the back lane. The big thing I'd like to see here, if we see Brainer getting lower and lower, is use the keep to defend you. Don't use you to defend the keep, right? If heroes die here, that's a problem. The keep goes down. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's one of those maps where you can turtle up, and even if you lose all 3 keeps, still turn around and come back. Oh, we have a false and fly kill, it looks like, down in the bottom lane.
We did. Eric was kind of sharking around this wall top, waiting to see if he could get the big gust up top. Rock had sniffed that out, so instead he just said, well, if I'm not going to kill the people top, I'm going to fly bottom and kill Malthael. I didn't see how many gems Malthael had at that point that went down, but well done by Eric and by the main ski confirming that kill where they could. One thing that I did notice in the first Web Weaver that I didn't get to yet is when you've got the Web Weaver and its summoned spiders coming at you, it's okay to clear the spiders. The spiders do the siege damage. The Web Weaver just continually summons them, which, yes, it is a problem. You want to clear it. The spiders have significantly less health and do significantly more siege damage. And so on that mid fort, there was 4 or 5 spiders that had just built up and we're creating that extra siege power. When you've got some AE forms to clear those, make sure that you're getting those in part of it.
Right. Absolutely. Really nice kill combo there from the side of Roll1, who are really just putting on a clinic at this point. They've got control of the game. We do see the blue Web Weavers come out. We had Souls on Diablo, so he will be back, albeit significantly weaker. And now we'll have to see what CCS can do. But to your point, definitely. Just make
we saw the engage with the Cocoon. We saw the disengage with the Mighty Gust. But we saw the finishing move with Last Rites.
Gonna find the stun onto Jaina there. One of the drawbacks, excuse me, being so very slow. Ooh, nice D shield. She was full of poison, but once again, Velvet saves the day. The team is going to have to back up. That's a lot of big cooldowns that were spent there, however. So now the members of CCS can look to push a little bit harder. Bot lane seems to be the name of the game here. Web Weavers pretty much finish out, but with the false out, with the Lunara, they could look to take this fort.
Yeah, I think with this dancing around the side that they're doing, they're going to very quickly put enough damage in and not take damage in return from Roll1.
Unless
it had enough poison damage.
Looking for a new rack now. Cocoon, though, will come out. There is going to be the unstop coming through. The Last Rites will finish off Diablo. Out comes the Gust to get everybody away, but the slow from the Water Elemental. Water Elemental is no joke. You have to kill that. It's a 6th hero, really.
Well, and Jaina having 16s with Numbing Blast, if she could have caught that Falstad with a Cone of Cold, with the help of her Walter, as I call the water elemental, it may have led to a second kill in that fight.
Absolutely. They're going to continue to push through here. One thing I'm surprised about is we haven't seen Big Cone of Cold. This is news to me, but apparently that's the build now, is to go for Big Cone ever since we had those Jaina changes in whichever the patch was where Jaina got her changes. It's been so long.
It has been some time, but Big Cone, which I think is 4, and then Reset Cone at 7.
Yeah. That's typically what we've been seeing.
Ooh, engage onto the Tychus. He had already used his dash.
Oh man, the D-Shield though, it's so good. There's the Numbing Blast. There's gonna be a gust though. Eric has also been putting in work to keep this team alive. Out comes the bunker to get everybody to safety. Now the hard thing here is you really can't chase a Lucio team just because they do have that extra bit of move speed. They're moving so fast. This should most likely be a turn-in from the side of Roll1, but everybody lived on CCS, and that's the important thing, so they can defend this.
And the map has evened up a fair amount at this point. Yes, we've got red web weavers, but all the keeps are intact. The walls may have some damage, particularly in mid, but there's still plenty to be done for CCS to defend this.
Again, losing the keep, not the end of the world. Brain are going to try and chase folks away. They could look to go on Mouth here. It looks like Ghost Dunk is trying to keep him down. The Web Weaver is actually just spawned. So keep sitting at about a quarter of health now. Still a couple of Siege Giants on it. Will maybe be able to see that death spawn come out. The keep is getting low. The members of Roll1 are getting low. Out comes the stun. Not going to connect though, thanks to the lightning breath. Velvet is very low. That is going to be the Uther trait value. Cocoon coming out onto Lunara, and the chase continues. Everybody trying to get away from main. Lots of damage coming out there. There's the root. No more Uther Ghost. Here's the Gust play from Eric. So much damage coming down onto Poe. Rock Your World low as well as Ghost Dunk. Gonna finish that off with the poison. The members of CCS bite back. Unfortunately for them, though, they're still very healthy.
They've got big web weaver waves on top and bottom keep.
Oh man, chunky caves. We're gonna see Eric actually hearth back to deal with this, but this could very well be the end of these keeps. I mean, looking at this top keep, that's basically dead. Mid keep, that's basically
229
dead.
Health top.
Oh my goodness.
2957 mid.
Oh god.
Bot's still pretty healthy at just over 10,000. Oh, it just dropped under 10,000. Blaze is trying to clear that wave. CCS run into the boss.
And they get it. They have the Lunara, they have the Falsets. They finished this significantly faster than Roll1. Gust will be up in 5 seconds. And with the new Rack and Tychus still dead, the members of Roll1 just gonna leave this, get their booby prize in the bottom lane camp. And now
I like the idea of getting value where they can by taking that bottom camp. It's going to mean that CCS cannot fully commit to a boss push. Now they're looking for turn-in. They're gonna get it, but can Roll1 create enough pressure in bottom that it's at least one lane they don't have to stress about?
Oh man, we'll have to see. Water Elemental has been placed up here to continue to push. Now, with the turn-in, this is a game-winning play here from CCS. This is such an expenditure of resources. They have to win here. The boss is sitting at 50% health. Falset will be able to join in. This Web Weaver is pushed up very far forward. There's a lot of damage onto Lucio. The last rites, though, will not end his life. Lots of damage coming out. Level 20 from both of these teams coming out here. Velvet is low. Rock Your World is low. We do have the Uther going down, not able to get that D-Shield off. They will come back with their redemption. However, Lunara just cranking out the damage with the intensifying toxin now.
Yeah, I was worried redemption hadn't been picked in time if that's what they were going for. I think in this case they need it.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh, the D-Shield actually condemning mouth ale. He is going to respawn with that no one can stop death, but not getting caught in the wind tunnel there actually separated them out.
Ooh, you hate to see it, but a fantastic defense by Roll1. They did not lose the entirety of the keep, though it looks like CCS is coming back for it.
He's got 2,400 health, huh? Come on, boys, I believe in you. That's like 2 false stat autos. Not gonna be able to get it this time round.
Yeah, that one's just a matter of time. So we've had equal number of turn-ins. I think that if we were to add up keep health at this point, it still is a little bit in favor of Roll1. And I say a little bit in the fact that both bottom and mid keep are completely full. So it's very much a tough scenario. Ooh, Cocoon.
Ooh. They get him out. There's the, ooh, Gus to save the day. Get the keep. He's got 200 health. Oh no, they weren't able to grab it, but you know what? Mainsky lives, and that's what's important.
Yeah, what a defense there. It may have been the Helm's Deep of Roll1. We don't know. Big dive and just deletion of poor Lucio there.
And not having that gust out, nothing could be done. Mainsky has to dash away once again. Now this should be the first keep of the game going over to the side of Roll1. They're dropping Commandeer Odin just to make sure. And without Lucio, they could potentially look to end the game. 19 seconds until the gust will be back. We'll have the
I like the play to get the second keep here.
I agree. Do they end?
I don't know that they end without another kill, so just you spent an ult, get value.
Yeah. That's the best thing you can ask for. They have constant pressure in 2 lanes now. And this one very similar to Dragonshire, right? And the fact that the map is so small that even when you get 1 keep, the other keeps are so close that they're basically still on top of you. We are going to see a camp still coming out here. They dropped Water Elemental for that, but again, these are such short cooldowns that members of Roll1 are perfectly fine to just let them go.
And CCS got a gift there in that their catapult finished off the top keep. So at least top is even for CCS.
Potential turn-in coming in here.
They nearly have turn-in. They're still 7 gems away. But dumping all of those gems means that you don't have to be as risky to try to pick them back up.
Curious here. Falstad did go for that hammering or that Gathering Storm at level 1. They're sitting at 113 stacks. I'm trying to do the caster math super quickly. So you get 15% extra damage after 30, and then 0.5.
Well,
every
so
time it hits. So
it's another 56.5% of damage.
That's a lot of damage.
The 15% bonus there. So.
Well, I'm doing the math, and the conclusion is that Falstad is, in fact, a big bonk boy.
So it would naturally hit for 190 right now. You can activate it to get the 225, and then, of course, having the spell armor that gets reduced from the level 7 boomerang from the explosion. So it's hitting pretty hard at this point.
Right, yeah, so big bonks. The math has been confirmed. Red Battle Weavers coming out here. Ghost on getting hit by the double stun there. Ooh, the follow-up coming out. Last rites, though, not going to end the life. Nice use of the high 5 there. Mainsky has to get out of this prickly predicament now. Most likely see out comes the Gus to save the day. Zad is all on their own. They're going to get a lot of damage out, but great use of that D shield. Diablo coming in, though, with the Lightning Breath. They have the level 20 upgrade. We're going to see Bunker popped here as well, and everybody lives. Oh, no, Mainsky wanted blood. Once again, going to come in with the high 5. It's not going to be enough. This is going to be Lucio going down now, and Brainer, they have 100 souls, so they'll be back. Kind of like beating on a pinata right now. Just hitting him, but that XP won't come out. And actually, Ghost Dunk is clapping cheeks while this has happened. This may have been an oversight on the side of Roll1. They tried to beat Brainer with full health and the spell armor.
And the spell shield just continually getting those procs. Lunara finally goes down to a wise Jaina. Oh, Eric dove in for the kills.
Blood. All right, who can throw harder here? Last Rites will finally finish off Diablo. That's a 5-man team wipe.
Diablo's coming back. But this bottom wave, which has 5 spiders, the web weaver, and 1 catapult, is just ripping into this core.
All right,
and Roll1
Brainer,
is
1v9.
through.
Let's go. Let's go, Brainer. 1v9. Up close. Oh man, what a great series. And once again, the Roll1 will...
The Val curse. They just said it in chat. Must be true.
They remain on top.
Wow.
Oh man.
The dive over the wall by Eric when Ghost Dunk had just done a similar leaping strike to his death, I think was a tough one. And so that if they had just played it safe and taken the kills that they got and backed up and cleared, I think they may have survived in time for the defenses to come back.
Absolutely. Just one of those unfortunate things where they can't kill all of us, but they in fact can kill all of us there. Still a great fight. It could have gone either way, the way things were working out for the teams. I was 100% ready for, after amazing plays, especially with level 20, CCS took the game back in their hands. Very close in kills, 8-10, but unfortunately for them, it was just not meant to be.
Well, shall we grab one of our friends from Roll1 for an interview?
No, I suppose.
I suppose. All right. What lobby would you like to go to, my
let's
friend?
go ahead and hop into lobby 3 because we still don't want to show any biases.
Got it. I'll follow you there.
Alrighty. Update the score screen while we wait for our friends. So if you're just now joining us, then I'm sorry, but you have missed all the games. This is the wrong button. There we go.
Velvet, did you roll the number closest to 1?
Not this time. This time my team said I was MVP, so I should take it.
That's fair.
It was nice of them.
You had some huge divine shields in game 3, and you were the sole survivor, I believe, in game 2 as Rhaegar, so...
Oh, I forgot my flawless again. Sorry. Alrighty. So, yeah, how you feeling after that series? Because that got pretty sweaty.
It was lots of fun. Those guys are always really fun to play, so, yeah, great games to them. It was a blast.
All right.
So, starting with game 1, Roll1 felt very much in control, patient. The death count was extremely low. How were comms in that moment going into that post-20 realm?
Our comms are almost always about the same. I like to call them controlled chaos. There's lots of information flying around. Usually Zad's calling if he's got lanes or if he's, and then a few guys are calling missing. Like our comms are just calling missing, calling abilities, and then rock calling intent. So I don't think it ever changes no matter whether we're in a bad situation or a good situation.
Nice, nice. And after that final horrify where you almost saved everybody with the Brightwing cleansing dust, I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but
I just call it D.
Yeah, the Delta on Brightwing, you hit that, but the Haunt had lowered everybody's armor, the Sleepy Roots had kept everybody locked in place, and the Gul'dan, and I believe it was the Cassia that game, just started unloading. They go to the core, it's not defensible at that case. What does Roll1 do in that moment to dust yourselves off and get back in the mode for game 2?
We just talked about why. Like there was just a brief conversation about hero problems, and Gul'dan, like they played a really good Gul'dan, and we recognized that that was in chokes that was a problem, and they were taking us to Infernal Shrines and taking us to like Dragonshire and stuff. Those are maps that, you know, chokes are kind of important. So we figured that was the diagnosis going into game 2, and just kind of rolled with that.
Now, game 2, we go on to Infernal Shrines. We've talked about resetting and we get rid of the Gul'dan. That's not happening anymore. The 4-man was together as a unit. They had 100% kill participation for all 4 members of the 4-man. Zad gets a bit of a pass because he's off doing chores, is the only reason he didn't have 100% kill participation, perhaps.
Yeah.
But just incredible team fight on that first shrine. The siege had already happened on that bottom wall, which then gives you the first fort from that first Punisher.
Yeah.
In that, we had a point where you were chasing a nearly dead Blaze even.
Oh yeah, that part. Yeah, that was fun.
And we see Lunara from Big Beard hit the button to reapply the poison and finish Blaze off, instead of you having to do the wolf lunge to finish him, potentially putting you in a dangerous spot underneath towers. Talk us through that team fight a little bit under that first shrine.
Oh, you're okay. Trying to get me to remember stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I recall, most of how we play Infernal Shrines has to do with front end macro into the micro at the end, right? So whenever we set up the shrine, like you said, the siege was already done. That's with intent. You'll notice we did the same thing top end. They traded forts with us, but we intentionally traded the fort where the objective was spawning.
Yeah, I called that out in chat, and I'm sure Rock will go back and watch the video. I hope the whole team does. But I didn't like the trade. I like the concept of trading, but because we knew the next objective was top by that point, you guys just got the bigger trade value.
Yeah, like Rock, I think the initial call was to run down to try to defend bottom, and then I think I called out, no, let's just hit this. We're here, and that was same kind of premise. That tends to be how we approach the maps when we're on our game. When we're not, that's different. That's why we're Div C. Yeah. So that fight bottom though, we got the first 10. Was that the phone we got the first 10 skellies on? I don't remember.
I believe so,
I
yes.
think that CCS actually had the first skeleton.
Oh, okay.
And you came back and tied it up at 20.
Yeah. Got
to 30 first and then 40 first.
So what we identified on draft screen was that we had better wave clear and we had better shrine clear from poke, from distance. And I think that was kind of the whole premise of that was just poke the shrine down a bit and then wait for the moment when somebody steps too far forward. And then that's where Rock and Zad do their thing. So, it was a little chaotic. If I remember, Zad died because he got body blocked by accident and stuff. But yeah, it was close at first.
So are you calling Zad a feeder?
No.
Okay.
I would never call Zad a feeder.
Would that be Rock?
Wink.
What? No.
Just kidding. I said, would it be Rock then instead?
Rock the feeder? No.
No,
No.
I felt like game 2 was extremely controlled. You guys made some fantastic macro choices throughout the game. And then when you were up 20s, you forced a fight and finished the game before CCS had the opportunity to stop you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's absolutely an example. While no game is without mistakes, I think it was an extremely clean game. I think that you played it extremely well. You had fantastic macro sense. There was the mid-camp invade 15-14 that we would have loved to have seen be a 16-15 perhaps instead. But with the exception of something like that, I think the calls were clean, they were together, and the team fights were fantastic. So great job on Infernal Shrines. I think anybody could look at that game and absolutely learn from the example you set.
Thanks.
So game 3, you've decided to discard Rhaegar, who's one of the best healers we learned in the game, and instead early pick an Uther. Jinxie even agreed with me on how cool Rhaegar is.
That was, you know, there's a time and a place. So.
She was teasing me a little bit. But you early pick Uther, who has long been a high early winnings or high win rate support, but not necessarily an early pick support. Were you worried in that case of what counters may lie for early picking an Uther?
No, we banned the counter. Like Gul'dan is the counter to Uther. The people always think of Lunara like, oh yeah, Lunara, that's the counter to Uther. And in my experience in the current meta, the meta Lunara build isn't spread damage. It's not Splintered Spear. It's Q build. And
it's burst damage, which is exactly what Uther wants. Right?
Yeah, which is what he wants. He wants that single target burst damage support. And since most of the meta, especially with like the amazing Diablo play coming out, like we've just identified, they're going for kills. Diablo isn't a sustain. He's not going to stand there and like let the fight last, you know, forever and ever and ever.
Except at the end of the game when he survives for 30 seconds against the team, right?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But we don't have blown our cooldowns getting the first kill, and then he's sitting there going, "Well, I can last a while." So
yeah,
that was pretty fun.
You had some stellar Divine Shield usage. I believe it was it Beard on the Jaina, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Jaina had a health bar of poison. She was dead.
Yeah, she was dead.
And you saved her. There was other examples, and it seems like the biggest Divine Shields were all mid lane for whatever reason. But just massive usage there. I was worried at 20 you had cast Divine Shield, I believe, on somebody else, and I didn't know if you had selected Redemption in time yet. Do you always take Redemption when you're in that mode?
Nope. There's times I've taken, like our team, it just depends on the comp. There's times I've gone the group Divine Shield, because I really enjoy that one. But it's that or Redemption. Our team doesn't play Tank Uther, so we don't play Hurricane. So, yeah, just Divine Shields. Uther is like my main. People all think it's Brightwing and stuff. Brightwing's my most played. But Uther was my original hero. He was the first one I picked up when I picked up Heroes of the Storm in Alpha.
In real life, would you say you look more like Uther or Brightwing?
Uther.
Oh, okay.
Very much. Got the beard.
I just figured that was a worthwhile question.
Yeah, that's probably. Brightwing, I came to Brightwing later when we were playing Share League and stuff, so.
Oh, that's been a minute there. Ooh.
There you go.
Well,
dates me.
I think you guys played a fantastic game. Before you do any shout-outs, are you ready for a lightning round of Valk's questions?
Sure.
You'll have 1 minute. I'll set the timer. I'm surprising Jinxie Cat with this as well. But you'll have 1 minute on the clock to see if you can answer more questions than anybody of the history of the Late Night Face Check. I have my same cue cards here in the drawer next to me. So,
I'm really
Velvet.
tired, so, okay, here we go.
You're going to do great. The timer starts as I finish reading the first question. Are you ready?
Sure.
What's your favorite map?
Dragonshire.
What hero would you have a garden statue of your home or in your home? Worst talent?
Junkrat's trap bigger thing.
Okay, Big As. Which map would you make an area rug for your home?
Dragonshire.
Most needed rework?
Junkrat.
Yes.
Worst hero to loan money to?
Junkrat.
Best hero to host a party?
Junkrat.
Map with the best look?
Towers of Doom.
Would you like them to announce a map or a hero next?
Hero.
hero for their own cookbook.
No, what?
What hero should have their own cookbook?
Oh, Malfurion.
Best hero's workout buddy.
Diablo.
Your favorite hero.
Uther.
3 heroes to join you at yoga class.
This one's dangerous. Diva.
All right, time is up. We will have to live in constant wondering who the other 2 would be. But Diva's the first one. All right.
It would have been
1,
Leoric and
2. Go ahead, sorry.
It would have been Leoric and Speedo Tychus.
Nice. Speedo Tychus is a very popular workout buddy answer. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll have to go back and check Rock's answers, but I believe you answered more questions than Rock did when he appeared on the Late Night Face Check. However, you did not beat the ultimate record out there, which is 14, but a fantastic showing at 12 and while tired, as he mentioned.
12 is perfect because 112, baby.
I have one silly question, and then we'll let you get to your shout-outs so you can leave these crazy people.
Sure.
All right. Who do you think you had the best chance in a like? Which hero do you think you have the best chance against in a fight?
Me?
Yes,
in a fight?
In a fight.
Oh my gosh. What's the roster? Like, how many heroes are in this roster?
There's 90.
Probius.
That's fair.
Oh. See, but we don't know how big Probius is. Is he like R2-D2 sized, or is he like the size of a home?
I think he's like the size of a cat. If a Protoss is the size of like a normal man, so I guess you could just kick him.
We kind of know he's probably like a dog size, like a big dog, like a Great Dane.
Okay, so you probably couldn't just kick him.
No, you wouldn't. Plus, he's metal, so that would hurt.
I thought you were gonna say Deckard Cain, and I was gonna say, physically yes, morally, could you really fight Deckard Cain?
I like Deckard. I would just stop and listen to his stories. Great.
Yeah. Stay a while I read the rules of the fight before we continue.
Stay a while and catch these hands.
Yes, exactly.
So, all right. Well, next week you're going up against Cool Cats and Kittens.
Oh yeah.
Do you have some secrets, or are you just playing straight up Roll1 Esports Juice Pirates?
Well, we tried Juice Pirates and we didn't like it, so just heads up, that didn't work. We have no secrets. We play twice a week, if that, and we're just kind of having fun. We get tired of Heroes of the Storm pretty quick, so other than that, I don't know. Good luck to Cool Cats and Kittens, I guess. They're a good team. They're a really good team, so it should be fun.
Well, you pulled off maybe a small upset this week because of rank 2 versus rank 3. So we'll see if you can pull off a little bit bigger of an upset against the rank 1, and then the big upset of beating the East, who, really we all know the West is best, but East likes to move the time so early that only they get warm-up matches.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you luck as you're going forward. What shout-outs do you have now?
Shout out to Osmo for being our eternal sponsor. Shout out to my team. Sorry. Somebody just whispered me at the same time I was doing all of that. Yeah, and shout out to you guys for casting.
Thanks.
Well, we appreciate it. Thanks for letting us be here. It was a fantastic series to watch.
Thank you.
So, well, go enjoy the last-minute celebrations with your friends, and we hope that your bed gives you great rest tonight, because I know you mentioned it's pretty late for you and you're tired.
I'm always tired. But thanks anyway. Have a good night.
Thanks, Velvet.
Alrighty, I'll give you a call back. We can get our plugs in, and then I think it's time for us to head to bed as well.
I agree. I'm tired.
It's a little middle of the night, like. All right, I'll give you a call. Alrighty, bring it back over to our beautiful faces. Well, thank you so very much for letting me be a part of this game tonight. It was a lot of fun. I would have just been moping with my team otherwise. So much appreciated.
I appreciate Beat Jen letting me steal you for the evening to cast with me. It was an honor as always, Jinxie.
It's okay. I suck, so they don't want to play with me anymore.
Oh. Gauntlet throwed. You best be watching, Linehouse. Jinxie's coming after you.
Oh, man. So when you're not here hanging out, Valk, where can folks find you?
At Larry H. Miller Chevrolet, where I spend way too much time. No, just kidding. That is my place of employment. You can't find me, but I'm just being a tease. I'm one of the admins in the CCS Discord. I hang out there way too much. I have quite a bit of fun. We've got a lot of neat events, including an unranked rush tomorrow. So feel free to find me in the NGS Discord if you're interested in joining in on that tomorrow night. We're gonna see if we can flood the unranked queue and make it a very popular mode on a Friday evening. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah. No, it's feel free to hit me up. We have a lot of fun with heroes. We don't get tired of it like Velvet might.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys, you all know where to find me, so I'm not going to plug myself because you wouldn't be here listening to me if that was the case. But thanks so much for hanging out. It's always so very fun to cast. I hope you all have a wonderful